There we go. Wake up. Wake up. Welcome, everyone, to Shir Likutey Moharan in Breslove shul. We are holding at paragraph Hey 5. A little synopsis of where we're holding. After we explained that the enthusiasm of the heart of the Jew is infinite, and a person needs to constrict that enthusiasm, because that enthusiasm does not allow for a systematic growth and in avodas Hashem. But it's just one big, bonsai cry. You're not building your meters. You're not, So you have to hold your horses, if you have any, and then when you are holding back, that holds within your heart a vacant space, a void, kind of
Okay, guys.
a bubble.
Anyone else want water?
All
right.
Okay, we already running. So sometimes the enthusiasm to leave a void in the heart, and then it becomes a contest between good thoughts and bad thoughts. Bad thoughts, per definition, are thoughts that go over the edge. There are thoughts that do not respect the boundaries, per definition. Especially when it comes to taivas, it comes to any kind of taiva. Rabbeinu says there is no domain. There is no negative. There's no impulse, human impulse, and proclivity, which is negative per definition. Everything depends on how you apply it, where you apply it, what purpose you apply it. So the whole thing now becomes, once you have that void, you hold back your enthusiasm. It becomes a contest between the bad thoughts and the good thoughts. The bad thoughts are the Yetzer Hara, and the good thoughts are the Yetzer Tov. It is interesting to note that Rabbeinu holds, it doesn't say that bad thoughts are the result of the Yetzer Hara, and good thoughts are the result of the Yetzer Tov. He says, no. Bad thoughts are the Yetzer Hara. Good thoughts are this. It's interesting, when they're learning now, they're learning the story in like Torah Chodshis, Torah Zmanis, whatever. So they're learning this with Eon. That's one of the things that they are illuminating. They're like, what's the deal with that? What is Rabbeinu telling you? I haven't actually thought it over. But nevertheless, it's an interesting thing to know. Bad thoughts are Yetzer Hara itself. This is it. It's the result of Yetzer Hara. You have Yetzer Hara, no, this is it.
What's the difference?
I don't know. It's just a diuk in the words of Rabbeinu. So when you will learn the Torah Be'iyun, then you kind of say, that's the first question you need to ask. What's the difference? Every word in the Likutey Moharan is precise. Likutey Moharan is a super precise sefer. So if it says like this, it's not just, okay, he's just telling you and he happens to use these words. That's not the Likutey Moharan. The Likutey Moharan is super precise. So it's like even much more than you know a formula in physics that fills up the entire blackboard. You can't just change a number, a sign inside and say, what's a big deal? It's just a little, you can't do that. The whole thing is, as it were, is one thing. So, bevade, there is a difference. What it is, I don't know. I haven't studied into it to see what's but in Reb Nosson, at least for whatever was able to see so far, does not hold on that. But nevertheless, it's another question there. And so the bad thoughts, because they do not respect the boundaries, the idea is you have a void in your heart that's supposed to build your midos. Now, any system, no matter in what area, is a progression of you do this, and then you do this, and then you do this, right? In a whole wide spectrum of things you're not supposed to do. When you say do that, means you don't do that, you don't do that. Heaven's like, don't do that. It's always do that. Okay, the next thing is you do that, which means you don't do that, you don't do that, you don't do that. You're always respecting the boundaries. Every positive choice means it's one choice out of infinite amount of wrong choices that you don't do. When you go over the boundary of what the right choice is, means that you are spoiling the void. You're going to the wrong choices. You are stripping up that void, that chol upon in your heart. And that void is crucial for you to learn, for you to build your midos. We can take it and say, listen, when you learn any profession, okay? You learn how to play the violin, or you learn how to be an electrician, or how to be a carpenter, or a psychologist, or anything else that you want, right? You're supposed to hold the violin a certain way. You're supposed to hold the bow a certain way. But I don't want to. Well, you ain't going to play the violin. What's the big deal? It's a free country. I can hold the violin with my foot. Yeah, you can. But you'll never be able to play Beethoven or whatever it is that you want, right? And you're supposed to do dafka this, and when you start going on, your violin, it's not easy to produce a sound from the violin. It sounds like somebody is sewing a woman in half, it's like, or torturing cats. But there's a process, and the process calls for discipline. And discipline means that you do what you need to do, and you keep on doing what you need to do, but it's also just as important not to do what you need not to do. Don't get into bad habits. It's true in any profession. It's do's and don't do's. The minute that you can't spoil when you do things you're not supposed to do in any profession. What happens? You get into bad habits, right? When you get into bad habits, it's very difficult to uproot them, right? It becomes more difficult than learning from old. So the same thing, Kivayochel, is working in Avodas Hashem. In fact, that's the way it works in Avodas Hashem, and all the other professions are just because it's Avodas Hashem. It's also in every other profession. That's the way you learn things. That's the learning curve. That's how the discipline goes, and so on and so on. Ad kedei kach, that Ron speaks about a very, very deep opinion. He said the void itself. How is the void itself created? In other words, he's talking about before the shattering of the vessels. How is the void created? So it's written in Kabbalah's form. I haven't seen it there, but I believe Rav Nosson said it's written there. That there was something called Olam HaMalbush, the world of the cloak, the garment. And what it means is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu shone his light in a certain tzimtzum and took it back. Shone his light and took it back. Shone his light, took it back. What's going on here? What is this? What is going on? There's like every time that Kadosh Baruch Hu shone the light, I mean, there was nothing there that could receive this light. There's no kelim. Baruch Hu took it back. When he took it back, it left a residue. It left, we call the roshan, an imprint. It's like a wave that goes onto the beach, and it goes back. It leaves, right? It leaves an imprint. That imprint is the beginning of the keli to receive. And each time the Kadosh Baruch Hu shone his light, he shined it in a way that each time was a different tzimtzum. It's a different constriction, because once he shone the light like this, once like that, once like this, once like that. Each one left a different imprint and prepared the reality to come. When you go first, the first class that you go to learn anything, learn how to be an electrician, learn to be how to be a psychologist, learn how to be a musician, or anything that you want, all right? So what do you see? You see a teacher playing the violin that you think, I'll never be able to play. In a million years, I won't be able to play that. I don't even know how to hold, that instrument. You hear this speech from the professor or from the instructor, whatever it is, and it's TMI, it's too much information. But then you go out of the class, you didn't really get anything yet, but you got something shown onto you. There's a light that's shown, and it made an imprint in you that is the beginning of preparing you to getting into it. You know what I'm saying? This is what is going now in Sphere Simon. Every single day is because Baruch Hu shines his light in a different tzimtzum. Day is 20 days, 2 weeks, 6 days. It is Yesod Shebetiferes. This is what we counted tonight. But it goes even deeper than that. Every single thing that happens to us during the day, the things that we like and the things that we like more, each and every one of them is that shining of a specific light, but Tzimtzum HaKadosh Baruch Hu shines to us, and he takes the light back. This is in order for us to develop our own keli, our own tzimtzum. We're being worked over to become the vessels to receive the light of Hashem by every single thing that happens to us. I'm driving in a car and somebody, just gets out of his parking lot, doesn't even stop to look, and I hit the brakes and I go, and then and I'm pressing and I said, can't you see who gave you the license? That is something Hashem sent to the light back. I don't need to figure out, if I can easily see it, fine, no problem. But I don't need to figure out what is it exactly that Hashem is trying to tell me. It's not necessary. After Aleph, the Rabbi says the first, the only thing that I need is just the emunah, that there's wisdom in everything. That's famous terms. Aleph, that's the ABC of Avodas Hashem. Ish Israeli has to look in the seichel of everything. Whenever a person starts, decide to learn Likutey Moharan, he learns Torah Aleph again. That's where it starts. So people probably learn Torah Aleph, I don't know, hundreds of times already. Because each time you leave and then you go back and you come back. What do you start? Okay, I'm going to start. Where are you going to start? Torah Aleph. Say them. That's why it's Torah Aleph. The belief that everything that happens to me prepares me, it doesn't mean that I even know what decisions to make afterwards. I have no idea. I have no idea. Okay, on one hand, it's Hashem is telling me something, and I don't know what it is. On the other hand, I live in this world. I'm supposed to respond somehow in this worldly fashion to deal with what's going on. I have a bill, I have to pay it. If a neighbor's making problems, whatever it is, it has to be dealt with. Okay, but so Kadosh Baruch Hu sent me that in order to prepare me, whatever it is. But it also needs, al pi derech hateva kind of response. The Noam Melech actually refers to it when Yaakov Avinu sends angels to his brother Esau. Rashi says real angels, which is a bit difficult. Why does he need to send real angels? Angel, malachim also means messengers. Use UPS. I don't know, use regular people. I don't know, ambassadors. I don't know whatever. You have to use real angels. For Esau was a bandit. Esau, what do you send real angels for? And he says, Koi samru la'adoin la'Esav. This is what you're going to say to my master, to Esau. In Lavan Garti, I've lived with Lavan, but Eichar ad Atman, and I was able, I was delayed until now. And all I have is, donkey and an ox and a donkey. And I sent to let my master, Esau. But I was late. So Rashi says, Lavan Garti, I've lived with Lavan. The word Garti, Rashi says two things. He said, Lavan Garti means I was just a ger. I wasn't established. It's just I came to, I was a renter. It's just like a transient kind of thing. I know. And the other meaning is that the letters of the word Garti is Taryag. She says, in Lavan Garti, I was just a ger by him. However, the Taryag mitzvahs Shamati, I kept 613 mitzvahs. As she said, I didn't learn from Lavan's bad ways. I mean, if you think that Esau was a bandit, that's nothing compared to Lavan. Lavan was the capi, the tutti capi, whatever you call it. He was the big mafioso. This was Lavan. I don't know, whatever. He was the tati tutti capi. He's the one, the Don Corleone. He was the big bandit. He was Lavan. At kedei kach that Esau when Yaakov Avinu ran to Lavan, Esav wanted to kill him. So why didn't Esav go to Lavan and catch Yaakov Avinu? He sent his son Eliphaz, go catch him. So he caught him just before he left Eretz Yisrael. So Yaakov Avinu says, I take my belongings, whatever it is, whatever I hold, and I'll be poor, and poor is considered like dead. So the yaitza, the tzivui of Esav. The whole thing is, why didn't Esav do it? Why you send Eliphaz? And why did Eliphaz stop at the border? Why didn't he go right? The answer is scary. When Yaakov came back, just on the side, Yaakov came back, Rachel stole the Avodah Zarah of Lavan, right? The Truffin. What is Truffin? Ever wondered what is it? Or little figurines? What is Truffin? The answer is Truffin is a head of a Bechor. Take a Bechor, firstborn, you chop off his head.
Or what?
A person.
Right.
A person.
They take a baby?
No, a baby or a grown-up, it doesn't matter as long as he's a Bechor.
Oh,
Headhunters. You take the head, chop it off. I don't have to shrink it, but whatever you do with it, and you put like a name, the tumor under the tongue, whatever it is, and you start to put it on the wall, and with kshafim, it tells you whatever it is you want to know. Black magic, whatever it is that you. Esav didn't go to Lavan because he was scared, because Esav's the Bechor. He was the firstborn. He was afraid Lavan was going to cut his head off. That's why he didn't go all the way to Lavan, to Haran. But if you want to see what the true character of Esav, he sent his own Bechor, Eliphaz. You go catch Yaakov, kill him. Afterwards, you see, the family of Esav, the most corrupt family on earth. Horrible. What was going on there? Just read it. Read what the Chumash says about Eliphaz, whatever it is that he went against his father in the most disgusting fashion possible. Everybody was everybody's brother, everybody's father, everybody's mother, and the whole thing was just all big mishmash. In Eov, in Sefer Eov, you see Eliphaz is one of the people that first come, and you hear him speak with Ruach HaKodesh, Eliphaz with Ruach HaKodesh, with probably one of the most poetic soliloquies I've ever read. The monologue of Eliphaz in Eov, it's mind-blowing. That was before probably this whole shenanigans because probably once Esav sent him, he says, listen, I don't want to go. You go. It's okay. Nothing will happen. No problem. Nothing to take your head up, whatever. Okay, so you realize, he says, all right, this is what being your son is worth. Okay, I'll show you. Whatever it is. Yeah, well, with fathers like this, you don't need, Anyhow, so the Noam Elimelech says, why do you have to send real angels? And why do you have to say, this double language, says to my master, to Esau. This is what you say to Esau. This is Esau. And he says, okay, so why are you telling, you say, I wasn't by Lavan, I did not become established. I did not become the chief financial officer of the Lavan Enterprises. Okay, I understand that. He says, but why tell him that you kept Tarek mitzvahs? that Lavan wasn't able to corrupt you. You're trying to gain favor in the eyes of Esau. This doesn't sound like something that will make him feel good. If anything, is going to really make him upset. I was hoping Lavan is really going to tear it to shreds. Now you're telling me, oh, I came out of the unscathed. What gives? And so he says that exactly what we're saying here. Yaakov Avinu was dealing with the situation at hand, both as an interaction with the Kodesh Baruch Hu, as well as Olam Hazadik interaction with his brother. So when he was talking, when he used Malachim, the Malachim were to send to Kodesh Baruch Hu. That's why he needed to use real Malachim. And the message was as follows. That's the Kodesh Baruch Hu. That's the real, what's going on between the relationship between Kodesh Baruch Hu and me. But it's also this world, things need to be taken care of. Tell Esau. La doini, la Esau. You're supposed to tell it to two, on two levels. One of them is ruchnis between me and HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and the other one is l'maisa. You got to take out the garbage. You got to take care of, that care of business. La doini, la Esau. And the Lavan Garti was also saying the same thing, but saying it meant two different things. To a Kodesh Baruch Hu, you say, remember that I kept the Tarek mitzvahs by Lavan. I didn't learn from his bad. To Esav said, I was just a ger, I wasn't successful, I didn't become big in his organization, whatever it is. The whole thing is this union of dealing with the Kodesh Baruch Hu and dealing with that. This is every single thing that happens to us on a daily basis. It's not just this world things that happen to us that we're supposed to deal with. We're supposed to deal with it, but it's not only that. It's also the light that Tzimtzum, the constriction that Kodesh Baruch Hu sends to me every day, the light that comes in and goes back and leaves an imprint for me to build myself in a way of Hashem. So when a person keeps on thinking good thoughts to overcome the bad thoughts, he's building the midas. He's building the kalim. He's building his character, you can use. I don't know what you want to call it. Now, good thoughts lead to good deeds. When you do good deeds, you show everybody that Kodesh Baruch Hu is your king. He's your ruler. Right? He's the one that comes. Why are you doing this? Why are you putting these boxes on your arm and your head? Because the Kodesh Baruch Hu said to do it. So you megala the malach of the Kodesh Baruch Hu. You megala Kodesh Baruch Hu is the melech. And then he said that is called Beis HaTorah. That's the Aliyas HaMalchus, the elevation of the Malchus. That's the lower house. Now there is an intrinsic relationship between the Malchus and the Bina. The Bina is Pinas Olam Haba. You're preparing yourself, you're not just elevating Malchus Baruch Hu in this world, you're elevating the Malchus Baruch Hu in the next one. You get to a new level. And when you're correcting, when you're fixing the Bina is the very root of Chal Apam. When a person is doing this, when a person is doing this work on a continuous basis, he keeps on keeping the good thoughts and pushing away the bad thoughts. He's making sure that he doesn't go overboard with his enthusiasm. Not for good, not for bad. Everything's just, let's go Yankees. No, none of that. Just push it away. It's just that, and same thing, you don't go with let's just go and scream in the mountains without, no punctil, no dam, whatever it is. I'm just straight to Kodesh Baruch Hu, all enthusiasm. Don't do that. This is a tzimtzum, and then you serve Kodesh Baruch Hu one step at a time by overcoming good thoughts, pushing away the bad thoughts. And also says it builds a skill in you that ultimately your malchus, mabesa tator, the malchus, by you becomes a bina. What does it mean? It means that you can really let it rip. You can really go all in into Avodas Hashem without having to worry about ribui or about too much, an influx, a tsunami of godliness, because you have all the kalim to contain it already built in this daily fight that you go, the good thoughts versus bad thoughts, holding back, not to go too much, not to go too little. All this enables you to go to the bina and goes to just run and do everything you can. And Rabbeinu says, Ze Pchinas Shir, Shi Yisar La'asi V'Shir Pashut Kofel V'Shulush Merida. That's the song. Mashiach will come. That will be there will be a song that comes down. Now, a song, music, any kind of this is the thing that connects a person to the source of this music. If you have sad music, it connects you to sadness. If you had simchadikim music, it connects you to simcha. Rabbeinu says that there is, Emunah also has a song. He says, and every Emunah, the high, the many, many levels of Emunah. The highest level of Emunah is, Rabbeinu says, that's the Emunah that the meat of the Emunah itself believes in Kodesh Baruch Hu. That's like the highest level of Emunah. There's a song for that level as well. When a person, the entire world will hear this song, it will transport everybody to such a level of Emunah that the Geula Shleima will be. That song is called Shir Pashut Kofel Mishulosh Meruba. Simple, double, triple, and quadruple. The pasuk says, what about the Geula? Tavoi Tashuri, you will come singing the Rosh Amona from the very head, the very root of Emunah. That's the song of the ultimate Emunah. Now, also, obviously, when you say Shir Pashut Kofel Mishulosh Meruba, it's obvious you're talking about Shem Havaya Baruch Hu. Yud Kei Vav Kei. First letter is Shir Pashut, Yud, Shir Pashut. First Hey, Shir Kofel, the Vav. It's the triple, and the last Hey is Meruba. It's the quadruple. It says, and he says that. What?
How is that figure?
What's the problem? Oh, okay. So when this is a sar, I'm going to say this is a sar minei Megina. The 10 types of Megina that are making the total happiness. This is Pchinas Hey Shi Daled Yud. The union of how does the Shir Pashut Kofel Mishulosh Meruba becomes Eser Minei Megina, 10 times of Megina. Tikkun HaKlal is Eser Minei Megina. That's the ultimate tikkun. How does it come? Because when you take how much is Pashut? Is 1, right? How much is Kofel? It's 2, right? How much is 1 plus 2? 3. Then you say triple is 3, right? 3 plus 3 is how much? 6. You add Meruba is 4. Only 6 plus 4? 10. Asar Minei Negina. That's the Asar Minei Negina. The fact that Reb Nosson says, what is the Yud, Shir Poshet. What does it mean? It means that it says that the person needs to think about and makes him happy every single day with this union. Shir Poshet, the Kodesh Baruch Hu, is totally simple. And I believe in the Kodesh Baruch Hu in total simplicity. That's the Yud. Shir Poshet. And he says, why should I be happy with my station? So many things happen that make me upset. How am I going to make myself a simple? He says, Shir Poshet Kofa Mesholosh Meruba. The Yud Shir Poshet. Kodesh Baruch Hu is Echad HaPoshet. I believe Kodesh Baruch Hu. As simply as all the women, the simple people believe in him. Kodesh Baruch Hu Bevadei V'zel. Simple. Kofa is a tzaddikim. I have a moon tzaddikim. The Moshe says, at least I'm happy. I'm not choilek on the tzaddikim. I don't know how much moon I have and how close I am, whatever it is, but at least I'm not going against them. That's a simcha all on its own. The triple one is nekudas toivos. I daven today. I put on film today. When I ate, I make a bracha. Every single thing that I do, is a service. I was mekayim the ratzain of Melech HaMchayim Lachim that put me in the world that is aimed to take me away from him. And I'm supposed to fight and says, no, I want to do what Kodesh Baruch Hu wants me to do. Now, if you got a phone call from, who's the big guy today? Elon Musk, whatever. Big billionaire, whatever. So you get a phone call. Hold on for Elon Musk. Wants to talk. Hello, Mr. Statman. Yeah. I want to talk to you. There's something I want you to do for me. He doesn't even tell you what he wants you to do. You're already happy. Why? Because you realize if Elon Musk wants me to do something, yes, he asked somebody to track me down. He doesn't know me from Adam. He doesn't know me from a hole in the wall, right? So if he tracked me down, his secretary is telling me that, and he calls me, he wants to speak to me personally, because he wants me to do something, it's not for 20 shekels an hour. That's for sure, right? Means from now on, I'm on to Easy Street. Something's good is going to, I don't know what, but something good is going to happen. And the more important an authority calls you, says, I need you. The more, wow, man, all right, you're going Mr. You don't just call me, hey, Grunman, Mr. Grunman for you. It's like, I got a phone call from Bill Gates. I got a phone call from, I don't know who, I got a phone call from, he wants to know. I got a phone call from Yaakov Shechter. He wants to speak to me. It's like, it's not just, I'm not just anybody. Melech HaMchayim Lachim told me he wants me to do something, and I did it against all odds. You're doing everything. Everybody's doing it. That's the horror. I want to dampen it down. Today, I wore the crown of the king today. You don't realize who's calling. You don't realize who's talking to you. You don't realize what you did. And it has to be that. I don't even know Bechira. If you really knew what you were doing, you know the value of every single Nekuda Teva that you did, there'll be no Bechira. It's a hurricane can just hang up his shingles and just go home. But that's a sheer Meshumash. Sheer Meruba means you take all this and you go ahead and go do mitzvahs from now on. I'm going to wake up, I'm going to grow. What else can I do? How else can I grow? What else can I do? When you live with that, this is your life. So Pashut, Kofa, Meshulas, Meruba, the simcha is endless. When does simcha come down? When others aside, wearing tzitzis. This is clean, right? I changed my tzitzis, didn't change my tzitzis. You don't know what you did. You know what tzitzis is. For crying out loud. All right. because we don't know. So it doesn't, but the minute that you know, that's why when you hear somebody talk, a pep talk, and that what they're able to get you excited, they reveal to you a world, a universe inside what you actually have done, what you're doing. And you're going like, yeah, forget about it. Which is what we should be doing. That's exactly what we need to do. It says this is a sermon again is a hey. Hey is Dalit with the U. How does the hey look? There's a little chipchik inside. So it's a Dalit and a Yud inside. The Yud inside is the sermon and the Gina. That's the Bina. That's the Seichel that connects to the Dalit. Dalit is the Malchus. The Dalit is a Bchinas Shir Pashut Kafur Mishalosh Meruba. As we said, it has these 4 Bchinas. The Bchinas and sermon and the Gina. We said, we count the gematria of, Pashut comes out to 10. This is Megal and the Malchus Baruch in the world. Bchinos v'Sara al Kol Ha'olam. Sarah is, until now he's Sarai. She's just ruling over herself. When she gets the hay, she had only the Yud. But then she becomes from Sarai, she becomes Sarah. Right? So it means she is the governor of the entire world. She rules the entire world. That's Shekhinah. Ruling the entire world. Sarah al Kol Ha'olam Kula. Sarah is Bchinas Shir. Sarah. It's like try to say Sarah, she, Samaya. Many times. Won't be able to do that. So it's the same letters. It says Sharim means that the Sharim, the Sarim, the ministers, at the Malchus Knesmiris is going to build B'ezrat Hashem and awaken the Shir, the Osad Lavan. And B'ezrat Hashem, next week, we will talk about how Tefillah B'chavona, all this thing, after this whole nice principles, all boiled down to one single of it. Where you spoke, one single of it is to overcome good thoughts over bad thoughts. And next week, we're still learning what he's talking about is Tefillah B'chavona. Overcoming bad thoughts with good thoughts means that when you daven, you look at the words you're saying and you mean them. We'll talk about techniques of doing it, how to do it, whatever it is, difficulties of doing it. I don't have to tell you, we all know about that. So, B'ezrat Hashem, Ad Kan, Kofe Aleph, B'ezrat Hashem. We will meet here in the shul, B'ezrat Hashem, next week. Start recording.